It is a high honor and a distinct privilege to ask you to join me in welcoming David McCourt. David.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Granahan McCourt National Broadband Ireland, we all really appreciate this recognition. And I recognize that one person gets to receive these recognitions, but hundreds of people earn them. And it starts with your partner at home and goes through your partners at work. So Julie, Peter, TJ, Tara, Bernard, Amy, Cheryl, Dave, and Alexandra, and my longest partner, who has come out of retirement every 5 years to bail me out, Mike Adams. Thank you very much. I promised Mike's wife I won't screw up anymore so her husband can stay retired. President Tom Higgins and the rest of the Irish-U.S. Council, thank you. Dr. Terry Cross, congratulations. It's so nice to see someone from the North be recognized because my father's family is from Tyrone and my mother from Galway, so I'm a child of a mixed marriage. So we appreciate that. Consul General Helena Nolan, thank you for joining us. There's roughly 100 organizations in America like the Ireland-U.S. Council. They have names like the French-U.S. Council, the Italian, the Egyptian, the Mexican, but no two countries are closer, more important, or more helpful to each other than Ireland and America. And there's two reasons for that. And the first reason is actually quite simple. The second reason is much more complicated. The first reason that these two countries are so close is because the Irish built America. The Irish built the city. They probably built this building. They built Philadelphia, Boston, Chicago, and New York. The Irish, they came to Ireland. They came to America, pardon me. They built America, and they built a life for themselves. Their kids, their grandkids, and their great-grandkids continue to build America. They became firefighters. They became police officers. They became school teachers, builders, architects, doctors, CEOs, lawyers, and politicians. And after 100 years of helping to build America, they left a little bit of Ireland in America, and they took a little bit of America back to Ireland. The second reason that Ireland and America are so unique is a little bit more complicated. For the 75 years after World War II, America pushed their way of doing things around the world. America's view of capitalism, America's view of democracy, America's view of openness and entrepreneurship, no barriers, openness, market-oriented politics. America leaned heavy onto every organization that was trying to flatten the world, whether it was the UN or whether that was the WTO or the International Monetary Fund or the World Bank. America pushed this set of rules that underpins a multi-layered system that we have around the world that most of us call globalization. And the result of that is that a tiny little country floating in the Irish Sea can build a business for itself. A tiny country with not enough people or not enough natural resources to have a strategic advantage can become a node in a global system, can become a spoke in a big wheel. And Ireland saw this opportunity, and they set out a plan to become a node in a global world. They said they were going to educate their children, and they did. They said they were going to build new roads, bridges, and tunnels so people could move product and people quickly around Ireland. They did. And then they set out with a series of rules and regulations, including a favorable tax rate, but 100 other things in addition to that to bring international businesses to Ireland. And the result of that is the top 10 tech companies in the world find their international headquarters in Ireland. The result of that is that Ireland's economy is the envy of the world. The result of that is Ireland has a budget surplus. And if the top 10 telecom companies in Ireland, if half of them were to leave, tomorrow, Ireland would still have a budget surplus, which is a remarkable feat. Now, back in America, we have a $33 trillion deficit. This year, we spent $6 trillion and we brought in $4 trillion roughly. Last month, we only overspent by 166 billion and Wall Street was throwing a party. So we're no longer looking as a country to take down barriers and roadblocks. In fact, some think that we're putting up more walls and barriers than we're taking down. And that sounds good if you're running for office. Make America great again, America first, nationalism, great names. But protectionism makes the world less resilient. It makes the world more unequal. It makes the world more conflict-prone, more unfair, more divisive, and more unsafe. Now, what's this have to do with Ireland and America? A lot, actually. Because if the world continues to look inward, and it's not just America, this is what Brexit was all about. If the world continues to look inward, there won't be an Ireland 2.0. There won't be another little country that can create a node in a globalized system. The old environment of trade, competition, and innovation for all countries was the norm, and it was encouraged. A flatter world, a fairer world was the way we used to operate. Compare that to the present, where advanced economies not only want to win for themselves, they want others to lose. It's like a competition, but it's with people's lives. So with this as a context, why am I confident that Ireland has a bright future? First of all, because we're building a national broadband plan, which means that we're going to put a fiber at every man, woman, and child in Ireland. It means that every apartment, every home, every school, every hospital, every farm, every business is going to have a fiber. If you have a postcode, we'll wire your house. You don't need a toilet, you need an address, and we'll wire your building. And the reason that this is so important is because in the old days, how fast you could make widgets, how cheaply you could make widgets, how many widgets you could put in a 40-foot container, how many containers you could put in a ship would determine whether you're going to win. But tomorrow, the winners are going to be those that can move, manipulate, store, and make useful information out of data. Those are going to be the winners. And Ireland will soon be the most connected country in Europe and one of the most connected countries in the world. And the second reason I'm comfortable about Ireland's future is as we're building national broadband, we're creating jobs in every village we go to. And we go to every village in Ireland. And I don't mean the 2,200 people that work in National Broadband Ireland or the thousands or hundreds of people that are making cable and making poles and making equipment for us. I'm talking about non-affiliated jobs. We go into a village and we'll give you a grant. We've given 100 so far. We'll give you confidence. We'll give you skills. And we'll help you create jobs. If you will use technology in an entrepreneurial spirit, we'll give you a grant. And these jobs create dignity. And a man or woman with dignity creates a village with dignity, and a village with dignity creates a county with dignity, and a county with dignity creates a country with dignity. And lastly, in our contract with the government of Ireland, we've agreed that everything above what we consider a fair profit, we'll share that with the taxpayers. We determine that 10% is a fair profit, and everything above that we share 50-50. We've already given 46 million euros back to the taxpayer, and we'll give hundreds of millions of euros back by the time we're done with this project. At the same time, at the same time we're doing this project, there was a professor by the name of, from Oxford by the name of Flyberg, who wrote a book, a best-selling book in the New York Times called How Big Things Get Done. It's a great book if you have time to read it. Buy Total Rethink first, but it's a second best book. And it's a book about public-private partnerships, big multi-billion-dollar projects. And they studied 136 countries and 16,000 projects just like ours. And they found out that 0.5% come in on time, on budget, and deliver policy. We're doing all three of those things, plus we're creating permanent non-affiliated jobs, plus we're splitting the upside with the taxpayer, and that makes us unique. We're not half of 1%, we're one of a kind. And it may sound, and it may sound boastful, and I apologize, but what you hear in my voice is not being boastful, it's proud. It's pride. I'm proud of the men and women of National Broadband. They're doing something no one else has ever done, and it makes us look like capitalism used to look like. Make a fair profit, leave everything you touch better than how you found it, create jobs with dignity. That's what capitalism looks like to us. That's what it should look like to everyone else. Ireland has spent 100 years learning from America, and now maybe we can return the favor. Hopefully America can learn something from Ireland. Thank you for listening.